much for that intro. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for taking your time to spend with me, the CEO of Trade Ideas. I don't do all of these, but I still like to pop in and kind of be in the field because, in my opinion, that's the best way to lead a company is by actually participating versus just listening to managers. So without further ado, let's begin with the disclaimer. Everybody, lean back. Trade Ideas is not a registered investment advisor. All the information that you're going to see today is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be construed as an offer or solicitation to buy or sell any securities. If you want that information, you have to go to a registered investment advisor. Okay, now that we've all been disclaimed, are we ready to rock and roll? I didn't hear a clap or a standing ovation, nothing? I'm kidding, guys, come on. Just joking with you. I know that I can't hear your clap even if I wanted to, but I know everybody is standing saying, talk to me, Dan. So listen, guys, this is gonna be a little bit different than you think, okay? Consider yourselves about to get red-pilled in terms of what's actually going on in the freaking market. Literally 99% of everything that you've been told is complete bullshit, okay? And we're not even sure if Paul Tudor Jones ever said this quote, but it makes for good slides. So listen very carefully as we tell you that we at Trade Ideas have done something kind of gargantuan, tantamount to like singularity-esque. We have made an advancement in the way that people speculate in the stock market based on a completely different set of criteria. Let's just talk about a little bit how Warren Buffett likes to speculate. He's like, well, I don't like that internet bullshit and that technology stuff. I don't understand, but Dairy Queen, I like those, milkshakes. I eat it and I like it and I buy it. Okay, now so a lot of people do that, and that's okay. But people that do that can't obviously speculate professionally. That's why I'm saying Warren Buffett jokes about that kind of stuff. I mean, that's all pretend stuff for people to pretend believe. It's not what really happens behind the scenes. All professional investors utilize the most advanced information. But the question is, well, what do you use? You guys all probably have heard or know or understood, because you're here, you're on the internet, you're interested in self-speculation, the whole notion of quantum mechanics and what happens when you get into the subatomic particle level. What happens is all sorts of crazy shit. And a lot of the things that we know in physics don't actually work there at the subatomic level. Very strange, right? Indeed it is. Now in finance, there's a lot of that same stuff. Like, for example, you think a company that's making a lot of money and growing business automatically means that it's a good thing. But the market's a little bit more advanced. It doesn't just take it, at face value. It's a forward mechanism. It's a backward mechanism. If there's a war coming, the market will be thinking about that. If there's a drought coming, the market will be thinking about that. If there's an inflation or deflation or whatever. The market is not the way that the professional financial world tells you it is. They say, hey, listen, you can't figure this stuff out. Give your money to Bobby Joe over here. He's got a nice program from Morgan Stanley that he'll give you. And what they'll do is they'll take your money, put it into a fund with other people, and you get on this, interestingly enough, kind of a communist sort of bus, okay, where you're along with everybody else. But you guys here, you sort of get that already, which is why you're here, which is why I like being here and telling you this stuff, because hopefully some of this will resonate. So when we thought about how do you win in the market, see, it's not a question of beating. Maybe it's from, what does this mean, beating? Beating sounds so silly because you don't even know who you're fighting. Are you fighting an index, a stock? What is this to beat? Why is this fascination with violence? What about profiting? So we kind of said, let's visualize the problem differently. profiting. How do we profit the most from the stock market? That led us to kind of an interesting observation of, well, who are the best speculators? Does anybody know? So this is for you to put into the question. In terms of speculation, do you know who are the best speculators? Out of people, not like, you know, magic and donkeys and animals. Feel free in the question and answer. Audience, who do you think in terms of people are the best insiders? Says Bob. I like that. That's a good, nah, Soros, that's just the name of a hedge fund. Okay, anyone else? Now, by the way, interestingly enough, insiders sounds good, but if you look at the numbers, they're actually terrible because there's a lot of laws that have to do with how you sell stock. Like, there's like punishment for you wanting a piece of the pie, so you got to like sell it quarterly, etc., and you can't time it the best way. And Soros is primarily just works on insider information. In legal speculation, if you want to look at legal speculation, the best speculators are advantage players. They play within the rules, but they have some sort of an advantage. What advantage could that be? Where have you heard that before? You didn't hear it at Morgan Stanley, I can assure you. Where you heard it before is in a book called Breaking Vegas about the MIT card counting team. You can count cards. You can keep a count of cards, keep track of that statistical flow, and bet in a way to give yourself a little bit of an advantage over the house. Yeah, banks not fair speculation, so we're not going to count banks. So that's how we decided to solve this problem. We said, okay, how do we count cards in the stock market? So we do it like this leopard. We watch for opportunities, which Trade Ideas is already the best at. So we've worked since 2003 to find opportunities and identify them in real time. Initially, it was just like, hey, they're like, Dan, I need to see new highs, new lows, and I need to see 5-day highs, 5-day lows on 3 times normal volume. I need to see 5-minute, 10-minute opening range breakouts, and it goes on and on and on. We're the best at identification of interesting events. But then when technological breakthroughs facilitated it, what we did was we took those events and we made those events like suit of cards. We started to count them. And we counted all sorts of different ways that you could figure things out with those events. Like some of the stuff we said, all right, here's all our events, and there's millions of them, all each day. Because every alert that we have, we collect between 3 to 5 million different events a day. Then our data looks at that information and says, which stuff there's totally noise, and we get rid of that. And then we look at stuff that actually has some statistical viability, and we say, what's this? What's that? What's that? And right now, as I'm speaking to you, our artificial intelligence called Holy Grail is doing this. She is looking at every trade that happened today. She's looking at her pattern recognition of what she thinks are good statistical setups. She's checking that against how today's data would have affected her overall plan, and she's making self-adjustments. That goes back to where we said the card counting, the advantage. Our advantage is that our software, Holly, our AI, works for you. She already knows all of the fundamental data. Remember, that stuff doesn't change. It changes quarterly when it does change. We see it all, that's factored in. Then she factors in the stocks information. Then she factors in all of this kind of like crazy stuff that we've been taught to like, but that we don't know how it really works, like when a moving average crosses another moving average, or when an MACD crosses the 0 line, or the magic 8100 line, or the 911 line, or when the RSI is 70, 80, 90. What happens when the RSI is 200 and then falls to 30? She's looking at all of that and a bag of chips right now, having a drink, and she's figuring out what to do tomorrow. So you saw before that when we launched this product, our subscription service started to explode. That's why you're here. I mean, you're learning about what it does. I'm giving you the backdrop of information. We created the proper way to speculate that has not been done by anybody else in the world of fintech. Everybody else tries to do their magic algorithm, this, that, the other. That's all crap. Okay? There's no one system, there's no magic that works. What you have to have is the approach, that's what we have, and the data, which is only ours. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing you're gonna hear, oh, come on, I know everyone's screaming, hollering, don't rush the stage, I've got bodyguards. The most important piece of information you're gonna hear from this webinar, and know this, we are the only company with our own custom data. Not data you can get at FinViz or StockFetcher or whatever. It's data that we make on the fly, and we statistically keep track of in our database. Everything we do is this gigantic data server farm, custom made by us, for us, not on Amazon cloud where they can spy on you or the other, you know, big cloud companies. It's like a little company here, not invisible to everybody. Got our super servers in there doing this magic. And what they do is they come up with these strategies to play tomorrow. So right now, our AI is studying, looking at potentially 1 million data points so she can trade tomorrow and win. And this is an example of a performance, what it looks like. And at the bottom here is a picture of a buy signal and a sell signal, but here's what I'm going to do. Unexpectedly to you guys, I'm going to minimize this and I'm going to bring up our actual software. Please let me know if you guys can see my screen, if it's visible, because I'm going to be blowing your mind here very soon. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, how are we going to help you speculate better than anyone else in the business? I'm going to answer that question for you, and it will be irrefutable. Okay, number one, all of our setup is geared more towards a Netflix streaming environment. See, these are channels. Pre-market channel will tell you what's going on in the pre-market tomorrow morning. If you want to see what's going on in the after hours market, here's our after hours channel, showing you what's moving up, what's moving down. Our software does this thing that that is used to help people perform at peak levels. Can you guys tell what it's doing? Do you guys notice where my mouse is right here? And notice what the software is doing. Do you guys see it? The software is auto surfing through ideas. I'm not doing anything and the symbols are changing. Notice again. Just keep watching. You are seeing setups without having to do anything. You are learning without needing to figure out how you're learning or what it is that you're learning. Your eyes are learning. You guys see the symbols change, right? And it's highlighted on the screen. So you can see which one it is and where it is. And this will happen for any channel. So let's say I was on a channel called social media, which also shows you kind of some cool stuff that we do. We don't only track data that's available from the stock market and then recompile it to make our own. We also track social media through StockTwits. So you can tell where something is being talked about the most. And understand why. Here's negative sentiment, high discussion. Here's positive sentiment, high discussion. And you can see some of the reasons why. Paul, I don't have no control over the music. I don't think, does anyone else hear music? Shouldn't. Paul, turn off your stereo. Come on. So anyways, notice I'm scrolling through channels. So what this also tells you is that we pay attention to the market, and unlike other platforms, we simply organize data in the way that you should be able to see it. So cryptocurrency and the blockchain were very, very important and are still very important. And look at what is happening and look at the opportunities that you're seeing. Look at these moves from 13 to 117 back to 7. I mean, Ladies and gentlemen, if this does not show you that we will present information to you that you're not going to see on CNBC, then I don't know what else I can show you. This is the kind of stuff where the returns that are able to be made are completely at a different level. And that's why people need our technology. Again, this is why we grow. But the beauty is, and these are the subtle little things, I can unpause the surfing and now I'm on this blockchain channel and I can just see letters. See, oftentimes people confuse having to understand everything that you see in order to make sense out of it. So one of the things I'm going to show you is we give you indication of when RAI, remember this is for the longer terms, puts a buy order in anything. So you can see, did it feel this move and riot? And look at the example. So you can see everything's past performance. It's just there. I mean, meaning everything that we have, rather. When there is a trade in there, you will see it. So let's go back. So here in Twitter, there was a buy signal. Let me put that back on the chart. On December 1st. Okay. And this is to show you now that the AI does not only think in day trading terms. Every single thing we do, we actually think in terms of the long term, which brings us to today. So a couple of things. Number one, if you look at the SPYs today, you have if you were just comparing us to an index, what did the index do? Well, the index went down today. Okay. RAI, which starts flat every day and finishes flat every day, it just creates its own index and then shuts it down. But you don't have to, obviously. You don't need to follow it exactly the way it's done. This is done for record keeping. And we also keep track of the longer term performance as well. But consider, this is what you had today. Entry time, exit time, the modes. It tells you which way, if you are able to, should you try to handle more risk or not. And here's the guys, the coup d'etat. Okay. Let me just open this up real quick. Everything is labeled. So when a trade takes place, you can see where it took place. There's a blue line. You can see what happened afterwards. You can see the risk scenario, what took place, and how that would have affected the trade. Everything is visible. Same thing. And you can see if it had happened before. Back for you. So here is this trade. This is the signal line. That's what we do. We show everything on the chart so it happens in real time. I didn't put this up there. So it's like we built in an avatar for you that will help you track and trade every position. It's like a built-in tutor, trainer, teacher. That's all built in. Here's your entry line. This is your stop loss line. It actually hit the stop loss line, but look at how it retraced and then went back in. And that's what risk mode is. When you're risk on, you can re-enter the trade, and it just ran. They're the exit times right here. So the sell signals, if it's a short signal, you'll see it on the chart. So does that answer your question? Sell time is the exit time right here. And that's a risk off exit. That means that if you're going to play super conservative, which today would have only given you 28 cents, then that's how long you would have held it. Otherwise, it's to the close. So it's that kind of very simple logic, either as per or to the close, depending on if you're risk on or risk off. But by the way, all of this stuff, I mean, this is your first introduction to it. You know, I don't want to get into the details of how to follow and the best way to do it, because we train you to do all of that. We're just trying to show you that this is the next generation. This is the next level. We don't even hear our customers. They care not for level 2 or time and sales and all things that you've been taught to look at, because they realize that that stuff is not really relevant for the time frame that we trade. We are trying to trade on the human time frame. okay? We understand that any 1 minute there's some volatility that can happen, but the whole point is we try to give you the right idea of when that volatility is happening and when it's overextended. If it kept going down, obviously you get out here, don't look back. But when it comes back and gets back above the signal line, that's your entry. It's that simple. So that's the way to speculate. But then we did one more thing, which is pretty cool. Okay. So imagine that, you know, you have some ideas. And by the way, see, here's a buy signal that happened here. It was a nice swing position for a while. And then obviously unpredictable things take place. Still, nice big day today. The point that I'm trying to make is we ask the AI to do something that no other vendors do, which is we say, we know that you're not in every stock, but let's just say hypothetically you were in this one. How would you play it? And so the AI draws a stop area and a profit target for you, how it would play. And this updates all throughout the day. So if I go to like CSCO, it has a different one. And by the way, how's this swing for Cisco? Is that okay? And also notice that we don't trade just penny stocks or anything else. This is the next generation. And look, again, the point is, this is for those time frames. It's already built in. Every single trade here, this looked like a breakout. Now look, it pulled back, but not a lot. And from here to here, and then look at this move. Don't you want to have something like this working for you? So again, this is something the AI is not in. You don't see any previous signals, but if you were in at the last print, this is where your stop would be, and this is where you would take some profits. So we have built in the card counting rules, is what we're really trying to say. What a beauty on this one. Okay. Again, notice it's not perfect because it can't be, but this is where the risk management takes off. Everyone has their own specifically different profile. Some people have a $5,000 account. Some people have a $5 million account. Those with the 5 million can, of course, stay in a trade longer and don't need the immediate gratifications. Those that have a smaller account, they need to get out more quickly and reposition. We all know that. But there is no other technology out there today that's going to let you look at anything you like. And again, let's look at Facebook, let's say, because everyone likes the FANG stocks. So Facebook, if you were in it here, this is your stop. Whoops, I didn't do the right. Sorry. If you're in it at this price level, this is your stop, 78.98. Get out, because if it starts pushing through here, there could be a flush of 10 points. So Farad, I'll tell you, I'll answer all this question. Right now, I just want to make sure you guys understand the importance of what I'm saying. Every single stock that you look at, whether it's on the 5-minute or the daily, will have a stop loss and a profit target for you based on what the AI thinks it would do if it was in that trade. Okay. Next question somebody asked is, do we do options? So we do options a little bit differently because, again, we're not giving you the specific option that you need to be trading, but we're pointing you in the direction of unusual options volatility. Okay. So here you're seeing something like options played where the options volume in contract terms is at least 3, 2, or 150% of the normal. And sometimes, again, that can be very small, like options volume is only, and this is in contracts, I'm pretty sure. Oh, percentage, sorry, okay. So XPL is trading 300% of its normal options volume. Again, here you can have high call to put ratio, which is the inverse of the put call ratio. So there's a lot of calls and you can see the call volume. Here's the, puts it like this. It's the high put call ratio. So the idea is that you can see all of that. And if you have any platform like Interactive Brokerage or Thinkorswim or anyone that does any good option stuff, you can right away flow right into a one-click link and right to your options platform. Okay. So we have something for everybody. Low float stocks, these are the ones that move because of their mechanics, okay? And this is where you're gonna have some of the best opportunities. I mean, look at this stuff, okay? And we weren't in all of them, but look at what you're seeing, you know, and notice how this isn't this like 1, 2, 3. I mean, for BOM, for Boston Omaha Corp, okay, from 14 to 35, I mean, this was just a nice steep 6-month climb where you were like feeling like Icarus, but you flew a little too close to the sun and then you crashed. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about returns, okay? Our software tries to find optimum buying points. Again, if you can catch this reversal, it would be amazing. But that you don't always know when that happens. Still, as you move away, it gives you additional points. If your entry is here, this is your stop. Keep it tight. Notice this is what it looks like on the 5-minute. These are the things that you're just not going to find other places. Also, we don't hide and show you just winners because we know that we can't control that. We just know that over time, our software will be better than just simple guessing. I mean, and again, that's why we always say that ultimately you have to have the risk management rules. So in terms of downside, price movement, every channel has a name, price movement down. Let's talk about that. You got the biggest losers today, month, year, and of course, streaming, real-time losses. Here, by the way, is what it looks like when AI tries to make a short sell. So this was a short sell on this day, but you know, a rising tide. And here's another buy opportunity. So again, so you can kind of just familiarize yourself with how this really works. This is what real technology and innovation looks like. Not a bad kind of buy. And the other thing that I'm hoping that you're also getting is that there's no need to configure lots of stuff. I mean, we can get into the weeds of how powerful this is and what you can do with it, but that's not what you want to do here. That's not how your time is best served. What I'm trying to do is showcase to you the next generation of evolution of active portfolio management or active trade management, really. It's a built-in visual portfolio navigation with your target set to profit. Right now, we do not track Forex, although we will be adding cryptocurrency within Q2. We have a channel called Swing Ideas. Just some things that we've come up with. And again, does not always work, but also designed for critical points in the longer term. Our software allows you yourself to set price alerts for anything. So let me show you something real quick. So I'm going to go to this page and I'm going to click on ELVT and I'm going to say, well, this looks good, but where I wanted to get it is right here when it really goes. And I'm going to hit save. It's a long, and a little pin happens right here. So that's your swing trade ideas. Then where did my swing go? Now that's one of my, like if I go to working, these are all the stocks that I have that haven't been triggered yet. Again, you can just see what it was I've done, how I've done it, and it's all there. So additionally, excuse me, we let you work with the tech much like you work with social media, okay? So let me notice these hearts. I'm gonna hit heart on the S&P, and I'm gonna get rid of it. So you can like something that you see on Trade Ideas that you haven't seen before. So let's go to a different channel, and let's look at Abercrombie & Fitch. kind of like a big turnaround. I'm going to hit like. Now it's going to be in my liked symbols. And I'll explain why this makes it a very cool market environment. So I'm kind of just randomly clicking on some stuff that looks interesting. So now when I go to this page, all of these stocks that I've clicked on, I can now, check them out. These are the biggest winners. These are the biggest losers. NOV was the one that I had just clicked on. And so this creates a completely customized user experience. As you're looking at stuff, there's more reason for you to interact with something, because the things you interact with, and that list can get as big as you want, it follows you. The software will not forget that these are the things that you've been watching. And when you go here, you will instantly see, that's what, okay, I liked this one before. And by the way, there's another AI signal in Snap. This is as good as it gets. 2018, February the 7th. This is the pinnacle of active investing. It's not about drawing some lines over here and then trying to wait till some line crosses another line. That's not what it is. It's not the game. This is the game. Interacting, staying open-minded to things like, oh, look at that move. That looks good. I'm going to keep track of it on my thing. And look, I already have an alert here. So what I can do is I can move it up. I can adjust it. Now I'm going to say, hey, let me know when it crosses this area right here. That means it's really going. So all of this I'm doing, and the software is kind of just letting me freestyle my own thought processes without, needing to explain anything to it. Now I've got the things that I liked. I can check out what's moving the most, the least, what has the most unusual volume out of everything that I've looked at. It's Snap because of the earnings. Okay. Big deal. What was up the most? Snap. Gigantic. Big deal. Just had their earnings. So you can see we track it all. So now what I'm going to do is conclude the presentation on a couple of different things that I want to offer you guys. I mean, listen, this was a packed house and a lot of information. So what we're doing here is we're giving you a free book that's 5 Ways to Win in a Post BTFD Market ebook. This is written by one of our senior members with a significant amount of trading experience and incorporates a lot of the things that I've discussed here. Additionally, we have something else. We have a free trade of the week that we showcase to everybody as just a, how do you interact with Trade Ideas technology? Let us show you. It's completely free, and it's at trade-ideas.com/free. We're super easy to get a hold of. I'm the CEO of Trade Ideas, and again, I still like to do some of this kind of presentation, with interacting with people, showing them the technology, getting that feel. Please like us on Facebook. Please follow us on Twitter at Trade Ideas, or this is my personal one at Trade Ideas 1 and at Today Trader. Emails, of course, are another easy way to get a hold of us, and we also have a phone number. Scott, are we all set? Are we all good? Are there any other questions that I could possibly answer?
All right, I think we're good. If anyone has any questions, get them in there now. Otherwise, we will have the recording up in a few hours, and you'll get an email reminder about where to find that. Thanks, everyone, for attending, and thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Scott. It was a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing everybody else. Thank you.